Joseph YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Minnesota mother sentenced to life for deleting, get this, her 6-year-old son, calls judge garbage. So if you're unfamiliar with this story, I'm just going to read a little bit of the background here. The Minnesota mother convicted of deleting her 6-year-old son was sentenced to life in prison. There's a crazy story behind this, so stay tuned. I'm going to explain it here in a second. But not because she shared her feelings with the court. In quotation marks, she says, "I'm innocent, F you all, you're garbage, that is all, your honor." Julissa Thilar said during her sentencing hearing Thursday. This is a disturbing story, and here's why it's particularly disturbing. The act itself is, something that most people don't want to hear about, but we've got to talk about this just because the nature of this whole story is way too close to home, especially considering what I talk about on my channel. Eli Hart, the 6-year-old, was in a very serious custody battle between the mom and the father. And there were a lot of weird things going on with this mother. In fact, all this was documented. She was falsely accusing the father of the child for being violent towards their son. And these were all false accusations. He had actual mental issues. Everything was documented. But what ended up happening is what blew everybody's mind. Besides all of that, the false accusations and her obvious unstable mental health, this chick literally said that she heard voices telling her to delete herself, right? This mother who did this. All this was documented. Besides all that, they still gave her full custody, but 10 days later, their son was pronounced dead. This is unfortunate, and a lot of people want answers. They want the judges exposed, the people who are working on this case be exposed. Why? Because it's obvious that this is kind of the same thing we see in like family court, where there's this bias towards assuming that, hey, just because she's the mother, she is the most fit parent and should be granted full custody, which of course is crazy. And there's studies that have showed that that's not true. Majority of the times, single father homes raise up better children than single mother households. As always, the internet definitely had a lot to say about this. Let's check out a few of these comments and see what the people had to say. This first comment reads, "Women are 6 times more likely to delete their own children compared to men, yet the courts know these stats and still grant women full custody 99% of the time without question." That's interesting. I'll be curious to know why. I wonder if like postpartum has anything to do with that and other issues that women face. Next comment here from another woman says, "Stop giving these women excuses. Stop defending those individuals that were supposed to be experts in assessing the situation. The social workers, the lawyers, and the judge failed this poor child miserably. There are no excuses." That is true. They're going to have to drink this coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
But of course, they're hiding the identity of these people. Another commenter here, male commenter, says, "One of the main reasons this was allowed to happen is because of the bias many people have against fathers. It's typically assumed that a mother, no matter how bad the situation, would always be the best caretaker for the child. Unfortunately, this prejudice against fathers sometimes leads to tragedies like this one." Over 100 likes on that post, and I couldn't agree anymore. Another commenter here says, "The people who allowed this will be sued and held accountable, as they should be." Another person says, "This despicable mother is a monster. How the hell did the court system give this mother custody of Eli? My heart breaks for this beautiful child." Next commenter says, "Workers and judge that allowed this to happen should all be charged. This is unacceptable." Another person added, "The system is broken. Minnesota is one of the toughest states for fathers to get custody. Even with a clean record, stable job, and housing, the courts will place the children with the mother." Yeah. It's tough, I think, in most states, because they decide who gets primary custody also based on who was taking care of the child beforehand. And you already know, in most cases, mothers are in that situation. Another comment here says, "Name and shame the judge who gave this poor child back to his mother." Yeah, they need to release something. And they did release a sort of apology, but you could tell that even in their apology, they were trying to keep themselves away from being responsible for the situation. Now, the commenter here says, "All that paperwork basically says she was unfit to be a parent." True. So why would you grant custody to an unfit parent? Bad judgment call. That judge should be sued for negligence and charged with manslaughter. Overall, man, I hope the father of this child heals from this as much as possible, and the families and everybody. But how often does this happen and just not get reported? Men being disadvantaged just because of the assumption in most cases that a mother is more fit. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.